There's been a dramatic rise in the number of refugees fleeing Syria in the last 24 hours. People trying to escape the fighting that has spread to the south have begun massing at the Jordanian border posts trying to get across. Aid agencies say they are exhausted, shocked and terrified. Our chief correspondent Alex Thompson reports.
Save the Children say they've double-checked their figures. They've counted around 10,000 children crossing into the overcrowded camps in Jordan in just the past 24 hours. With their parents or guardians, they reckon that's around 20,000 people in all. With the winter cold and conditions like this in the camps, King Abdullah of Jordan took the plight of these people to the top today, to the World Economic Summit in Davos.
Jordan is hosting almost 300,000 Syrian refugees. The weakest refugees are struggling now just to survive this year's harsh winter. More international support is desperately needed, and it's only going to get worse.
Back in Syria, it is indeed getting worse. These people filmed getting out and leaving in the past 24 hours. It's partly fuel shortages, heating oil in particular. But it's also this too, intense fighting during the past 2 weeks in the once densely populated areas, stretching from southern Damascus suburbs down to the border with Jordan itself. It's not just Jordan, of course. Syrian refugees now strung out across Lebanon, Iraq, northern Syria and here over the frontier in Turkey, where toys were handed out today and the little boys seemed pleased enough with them. These girls, however, appear to have the weary stare of young people who've known already far too much of what life can bring.
Alex Thompson, well, joining me now from Jordan is Andrew Harper, who is the UN High Commissioner for Refugees representative there. Will Jordan keep taking these people?
Well, Jordan will continue to accept refugees while it's got the support of the international community. I think that the issue is Jordan needs much more support than what's currently coming.
And I mean, how big is the flow? Because we're getting sort of mixed reports about the scale. Some people are saying tens of thousands have come in one day.
No, it hasn't got to that situation yet, but we know that there's tens of thousands of people on the other side. Last night there was about 3,500 people. We're averaging about 3,500 to 4,000 people for the last few nights, which is a quadrupling of the figures that we saw about a week ago. So what we're having to do is greatly expand our operation, our response, but also I'd just like to reiterate and support what His Majesty King Abdullah had said. Jordan will continue to provide support to these people, but it does need the international community to demonstrate international burden sharing. Like, we will do the job, we'll make sure that these people are protected and assisted, but the level of that assistance and protection is based on the resources that we've got.
So what does that mean? You need new pledges of cash, do you now?
Well, we need new pledges of cash yesterday, a week ago, a month ago. The problem is that the international community do not wish to give, allow us to prepare properly. Like, unfortunately, misery brings money. And at the moment, we're seeing a lot of misery coming across the border. We're expanding the current camp for another 30,000 people. We're going to have to establish a second camp next week for another 30,000 people. And we're probably going to have to build another camp after that. We need to be more prepared, and we need the resources to be better prepared, because the situation in Syria is desperate. People are fleeing in their thousands. We will receive another 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people tonight. We'll probably receive another 5,000 next night. And we need the resources to give people the accommodation, the food, the water, the blankets to survive.
You're describing an almost broken situation whereby entirely predictable flows of desperate people cannot be helped until they are shown on television screens being desperate.
Well, this is part of the reason why I'm on TV tonight, because we need to demonstrate the international community how important it is. People cannot take Jordan for granted. Jordan has done a fantastic effort so far in keeping its borders open, allowing refugees access to education, access to health, opening up these refugee camps when it's facing its own challenges. So we're applauding the government and people of Jordan, but they can only do so much. Thank you.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're out of time. Andrew Harper, thank you very much indeed.